It's time for Around the Ozarks Sports Scene, brought to you by Colton Steakhouse and Thompson Sales. Here's your host, Scott Purrier.
Welcome in to another edition of Around the Ozarks Sports Scene. I am Scott Purrier. As always, big thank you to you for tuning in this week as we talk local sports, regional sports, hot topics in the world of sports. Big thank you as well to our sponsors, Thompson Sales, and our latest sponsor, Colton Steakhouse. We're going to visit about both of those here a little later in the podcast. But our guest today is the new head coach at Logan-Rogersville High School, the football program, a familiar name and face to all the Ozarks who've been following football for the years, Joel Wells. Joel, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
You betcha. Yeah. You got the Wildcats off to a 6-2 start. Close loss to Branson last week. Kind of talk about settling in with a first year, new program for you out there at Rogersville. How are things going in that regard?
Well, it's going really well. I'm really extremely proud of our kids. They've really bought into what we're doing, and we've made a tremendous amount of improvement from week one to now, and we've had an opportunity to win every Friday, and if you have that as a coach, that's really all you can ask for. But it's been really good. Obviously our facilities are great out there. The kids have been really good, and if I can get a few more kids out into our program in the future, we have a chance to build something pretty special.
What are your numbers like now, 9 through 12? Just talk about that.
We have about 63 or 4, 9 through 12. But the problem is we only have about 14. We have about 14 ninth graders. Okay. So we've got 16 seniors. So we're going to have to build our numbers up from the bottom. In junior high, we have about 30 in each grade. So we've got our work cut out for us to get out and recruit some kids.
Well, this isn't your first rodeo. You know that you got to start down there in the junior highs and even below that with the youth programs. Has that been an initiative for you the minute you got on campus over there?
No doubt about it. We have a Logan-Rogersville Football Academy. They just finished up, and actually last night they just had their year-end party and turned in gear, and spoke to those kids last night. But it's real well organized out there. We just have to be able to keep the athletes out that we have, and get a few more of the baseball, basketball kids out there with us.
When a program's had some rough times in recent years, last year 4-7 for the Wildcats, what do you have to convince the kids that haven't been playing? Is it we're going to win and you're going to have fun? Basically, the message.
Well, it is, and they have to see that on the field first of all, and we feel like that we've scored a tremendous amount of points this year offensively, and we got a lot of people involved in the offense, and so I think that we have proven that it's going to be fun to come out and play, and we've got a few kids out there that weren't out there last year. Ben Bisher, he's a basketball player that came out. Cole Evans, a baseball player that came out. So we got a few of those guys out there. We just need a few more, and I think we'll get them from the bottom up.
You've been doing this for 30, 35 years plus. We hear coaches talk about kids are different now, and we'll talk about that. But part of that is, do you have to play a style pretty much now, especially going in a new place that is fun, that's fast paced, that I know you guys like to run a spread offense and throw the ball around. Is that make it a little easier, you think, with kids today, maybe to convince them that, hey, you can enjoy this?
Well, I think it's definitely important. Obviously every situation is different, but coming into this situation, you want to play that style of football. We want to play as up tempo as we can, and snap it as many times as we can, and get the ball to as many players as we can. And hopefully, our players see that, and the other kids in the school see that, and want to be a part of it. But the biggest thing is to have a chance to win, and they've won in everything out there the last few years, except for football. So we're just trying to prove that we have, we have the staff and the people that can put them in a position to win.
You hung up the coaching whistle after the 22 season down at Harrison. You never say never. If the right opportunity comes along, it's going to coax you back out on the sideline. You look around at our area now, and it's changed a lot since you were in Southwest Missouri at the start, and then later years. But Springfield schools, people are moving out to the Rogersvilles, the Nixes, the Ozarks, the Republics, things of that nature. And how important is it to have a school district that is really bought into athletics and facilities? And I know Springfield's hands are tied a lot of ways because they have 5 of them, 5 schools, and you got to do it's all for one for all. But when you've got a Rogersville that looks around and says, okay, we're going to commit to this too. Is that the kind of thing that talks a coach like Joel Wells out of retirement and to come back to the sideline?
And no doubt about that. They've put a tremendous amount of money. We've just opened our brand new indoor facility. And we got a lot of bang for the buck out there on that facility. It's a beautiful facility. It's got a wrestling room in it. It's got batting cages in it for nets in it for softball and baseball. It's got as good a weight room as there is anywhere around here. Plus, we got a 50-yard indoor facility. So, but just the commitment to do that, shows a lot about what the people want out there. They want good football out there, and hopefully we have an opportunity to bring it out there. But I've been in the Springfield system as well. I was the head coach at Kickapoo and enjoyed my time there. But your hands are somewhat tied when you're there, and it's not anybody's fault. That's just the nature of the beast. And but just like most cities, people move out. To me, Nixa is Kickapoo 25 years ago. Rogersville, we're probably the next one to really grow like that.
For those people that aren't familiar with the Joel Wells journey, kind of take us back. Where'd you go to college, and then talk about the coaching stops along the way?
Well, I went to Missouri State, and my last year of school there, I had an opportunity to coach with Benny Lawson and Chuck Ramsey out at Parkview High School. And by the way, Chuck just passed away this last week, and funeral on Friday. So he was one of my favorite people. But had an opportunity to do that, and then went to Cassville, and I was there for 11 years, 7 as the head football coach, and then went to Washington, Missouri for 3. Had a good run there, and then to Nixa for 7 years. Went 3 years to Liberty in Kansas City, and then back to Kickapoo and retired. Crossed the state line into Arkansas. Coached 7 years as the head football coach at Harrison, and the last 3 years I was just had AD duties and coached golf. And but I knew I was going to come back to Missouri, and I knew I wanted to coach, and I didn't really get out of coaching at Harrison because I was done coaching. I just felt like we had an unbelievable run, and I just felt like I had taken it about as far as I could take it. And it was somebody else's turn to give it a try. And so I was looking for a place that really wasn't a big school. It was around Springfield. They had a commitment to athletics, and Logan-Rogersville fits the bill for me.
And did you commute from Springfield to Harrison at that time, or did you move down there?
No, we moved down there.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, we did. We moved down there and actually lived on the golf course there. So
that's right.
Harrison was a great stop for my wife and I.
Is the golf game better from living on the golf course or not?
Well, it was until this fall when I didn't get to play any, but it was for a little while.
Harrison's about an hour, depending on where you are in the Springfield area, down 65. But we hear and sometimes we see it. It's a different world in terms of football and the commitment. Talk about what you noticed when you got down there between Arkansas high school football and Missouri high school football, just across the border.
Well, the good teams there and the good teams here, there's not a whole lot of difference. But the difference is in Arkansas, they don't apologize for spending money on athletics in Arkansas. They have a commitment to athletics. They have athletic period, first period for all 7 through 9. They have athletic period, seventh period for all 10 through 12, boys and girls. And, there's definitely a bigger emphasis on it in Arkansas than there is, in Missouri, in most areas. There's some schools committed in Missouri to athletics as well. I don't mean to take that away from them because there is, but down there, I remember asking, the soccer coach when I got there, because boys soccer and girls soccer are both in the spring in Arkansas. And I asked him, I said, why is boys soccer not in the fall? And he said, because if boys soccer was in the fall in Arkansas, there wouldn't be boys soccer. So that's their commitment to football in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, and it's a facilities thing too. I know that corridor of Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, Fayetteville. It's an arms race, isn't it, for those schools in particular?
Yeah, it really is. And we were a 5A school in Arkansas, which would be 4A here. So it's about 100 students bigger than Rogersville. It's about 850 students in high school. They've got Harrison's got has had an indoor for 15, 16 years, all paid for without taxpayer money.
Wow.
So, that's a big commitment from the town. But yeah, it really is an arms race over in Northwest Arkansas and down in the Little Rock area.
When did you first figure out at Harrison that it was a big deal down there as a head coach? Because I know you inherited a program that was pretty tradition rich too. I mean, it probably didn't take long, did it?
No, it didn't take long at all. The first week I was there, like I said, the two most important people in town in Harrison are the Baptist preacher and the head football coach. So they told me that week one. So, but it was great. The town of Harrison supports the school district like really nowhere I've been.
What about kind of contrasting that with Liberty when you're up in the Kansas City area, and comparing the Liberty and Kansas City football to what we have in Southwest Missouri and what you saw in Arkansas? Is there a difference?
In Kansas City, probably the best football, big school football in the state in Kansas City. Obviously there's a few in St. Louis, but a lot of great coaches in Kansas City and in Southwest Missouri. The smaller schools have kind of dominated out of Southwest Missouri. The Big Eight's won a ton of championships, but they're in Kansas City. They're just now starting to get facilities like they've had in Arkansas, but Southwest Missouri seems to be ahead of the race in those places. I can tell you this: when I was at Liberty and you cross that Missouri River, it's Iowa cold up there, and if anybody needs an indoor, they do, and they don't have any.
They don't have it, yeah. As a former Nixa coach, what were your years in Nixa roughly?
I was there from 01 to 08.
Okay, and you see what's going on now there. Does it surprise you? Obviously the community's grown a ton since you were there, but the football now, and you see it. You don't play the Eagles because different conferences, but when you see that now, did you think that was a possibility?
Well, I've always thought it was a possibility, but they've really made a financial commitment to the football program there, and I love my time at Nixa. We had a great run there as well, but you can just see the level of athletes that they have that have moved into there. A lot of the young families and they got it rolling for sure. And obviously they've done an extremely good job in every sport, not just football. But they obviously they had a chance to win the state championship last year in football. They'll have a chance this year as well with some really, really good football players, and I wish them luck.
I think when you first really popped up on the radar was your work in Cassville. And that had to be fun. The rivalries in that league, and I don't think people outside or in the Springfield area understand what a big deal it is when Cassville plays Monette or Aurora or Seneca or Mount Vernon. Was that a good time for you getting things going down there?
That Big Eight's a great league. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a great league, and you can be good, and you can get beat any Friday night in that league. There's some really good football teams and programs, and the rivalries are great. Of course, me being a Aurora Hound Dog, anyway, I break out in a rash if I put green on anyway. So Mount Vernon, but the Monette Cassville rivalry is great. All four of those schools, they think you should win the Cassville, Monette, Mount Vernon, Aurora. They think you should win all three of those games every year. It doesn't matter which school you're at. So, I really enjoyed my time there, and of course, I grew up in that league, so that helped. But I love watching Big Eight football.
Have you figured out who the teams are by now in the Ozark Mountain Conference? It's. Did that take a little while to realize, hey, who are we playing in this league?
That's exactly it. It did take a little while.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of the leagues have changed since I left, but it's been a really good league. It really has. I wouldn't want to make the West Plains to Carl Junction trip, but I made a lot of those in Arkansas on a lot worse roads. So. I think it's been a really good league. I would say we're one of the smaller schools, if not, I think the smallest school enrollment wise, in the league. But we seem to compete in everything in that league, and we had a chance. Branson's the biggest one, and the defending champion, and we had a chance to beat them last week. Inside of 2 minutes in the game, so. It's been a fun trip through the league, and hopefully we can finish it off against Bolivar this week.
With the athletic success, with the facilities they're building out at Raj, has the administration kind of projected growth over the next 3 to 5 years? And I would imagine it's probably a lot like what you see with maybe a little smaller on a Republic and a Nixa basis, because people are moving to where they're moving out of the cities. They're going to facilities. They're going where their kids can have fun and win. Do you anticipate each year just getting more and more to choose from? Maybe.
Well, I hope we do. There's not as many housing subdivisions and things as there are in those other places. There's a lot of big farms out there that haven't been subdivided yet. Into some places, but I can see growth for sure. And I can really see it if Missouri goes school choice. In Arkansas we had school choice, so that's a game changer as well.
Did you lose any Harrison kids? Because it'd be quite of a haul for them to go anywhere else, wouldn't it? Or
we didn't lose any football kids, but we did have we lose some basketball, baseball kids around, but what we had there is if a young man wanted to play football from the surrounding schools like Valley Springs, Bergman, those places, they usually came in. They played in our youth leagues and usually came in the 7th grade, to move to Harrison in the 7th grade to get in the football program. But it's a haul to somewhere else to play football from there.
Were you forced to become a Hogs fan by coaching at Harrison? How did that work?
I've been a Hogs fan my whole life. So, I'm originally from Arkansas. I moved to Aurora when I was 10 years old. So I was actually born in Harrison.
Okay.
So, I've been a Hog fan my whole life. And, a lot of days it's hard to be a Hog fan. But, I'm sticking with them.
Should Bobby Petrino get the full-time job now with what he's done in a couple of games?
I tell you what, Bobby Petrino can coach football. I can tell you that. And I would be perfectly happy if they hired Bobby Petrino as the head coach at Arkansas. He's got, one of the toughest schedules in the rest of the way. I don't know if he'll get it because I don't know if they'll win any of those games. But, I don't think there's any better, football coach than he is.
Yeah. Well, I know one of the first things you do when you take a new head coaching job is who am I going to work with? Who are my staff? Who can I bring with me and things like that. You made an attempt to put the band back together, didn't you? Talk about some of the guys you called and said, hey, let's go coach the Wildcats.
I did. Richard Rehagen, he was my defensive coordinator at Nixon, and he was the head coach there for 12, 13 years, and got him back. I tried to get Lance Jarman back, and, the situation wasn't right for him just yet. I also got Aaron Wells, who was the offensive coordinator at Nixon under Rich for that length of time. And, I made a lot of phone calls and, obviously tried to get Dan Henderson back with me, but he was with me at Harrison for 5 years and haven't yet, but I'm still recruiting those guys.
Are you? And then, is that a familiarity thing because they know what you expect as a head coach out of kids and out of an offense and a defense, and it makes it easier to hit the ground running with that?
It really does. Those guys are good football coaches and good people as well. And that's extremely important to me. And I'm at a time in my life that I want to coach football with some guys that I like, and I want to be around and treat kids right and coach football. And so, those are the guys that I've had really good experiences with over the years, and those are the guys I want to work for me.
Talk about some of your kids this year. Who have been some of the guys that have surprised or opened eyes, and the guys you rely on most on this Logan-Rogersville team?
Well, I'm really extremely proud of our quarterback, Sam Freeze. He's had an extremely good year for us. Thrown for, 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns or so. But, he's had a really good receiving core. But, one standout is a sophomore named Gage Hale. Gage is he should probably go over 1,000 yards receiving this week. Has made some huge plays for us, and really, he's as good as any receiver, in the area. He would probably be a candidate for Player of the Year in our league if he wasn't a sophomore. And then Joe Roach has he played quarterback in the past and was at Willard a year ago. But we moved him to running back, and he's rushed for 160 yards a game, and so those guys have been extremely, had great years for us, and that doesn't happen unless you're good up front, and that group's led by Vance Nally. He's a Central Missouri commit. He's 6'5", 290. Really good football player as well.
You got some athletes I know in the basketball hardwoods out there, and as you mentioned, baseball. Is that an ongoing process? I think a lot of these kids have to see the change, and then maybe there's a better chance you get some of those kids out the next year. Is that kind of your belief too? And say, hey, come to the game, watch what we're doing, look at the fun you'll have being a receiver or a skill position player.
Definitely. The last day of school, I met with about 20 something of those guys last year. And hopefully we'll get some of them out. We got a few. We need some more of them for sure. Some really good athletes out there in other sports. And, we need them out there. And, one thing is a freshman. We got 14 out there. Well, we got a weight class of 54 freshmen, boys. So, I'm in that class, so I'm definitely recruiting that class for sure. And we've got some commitments from 5 or 6 of them that will be back out next year.
That's awesome. So you got ball over this week. Talk about the district coming up. Have they seeded it yet, and kind of what that schedule looks like?
Well, it looks like we can be anywhere from a 1 to a 3 seed. We beat Carl Junction, lost to West Plains. Carl Junction, West Plains play this week. So, it looks like if Carl Junction beats West Plains by more than 6 or 5, more than 5, and we win by 13, we'd be the 1. But if West Plains wins, Carl Junction loses, we'd probably be the 2. But there is a scenario where we would be the 3 as well. So, we're just trying to beat Bolivar is all we're trying to do, and then just kind of see where it falls that way. But the way it goes is those should be the 1, 2, 3 seeds. Probably Monette, McDonald County, the next 2 seeds, and then Bolivar, Marshville, 6 and 7.
You don't mess with the Mustangs, right? The
I've
Mack County Mustangs.
been there a few times,
Yeah.
won and lost there. So yes,
I was
I
down
understand
there
that.
last weekend for an event, and it just blows my mind the facilities upgrades, with turf and turf baseball and turf softball. So it's not just a Springfield metro area thing. It goes out in the Southwest Missouri, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
That's great to see.
Yeah.
And Coach down in Mack County has done a great job with their football program. I mean, I think semis a couple of years ago, and that Big Eight's a tough league. And if you come out of there, you got a chance, and they got a good football team this year too. So yeah, it's really good to see it at all the places. I can't remember the last time I coached a game on grass, and I never thought I'd get to that point.
Well, most important thing, we talk about convincing the kids they'll have fun. When a coach comes back to the sidelines at a new place, he's got to be having fun too. Is that the case for you right now?
Oh yeah, we've had a lot of fun this year. It helps when you have some weapons that you can do some things in your program, and we've definitely got some guys that can run, and that helps a whole lot. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We still got a long ways to go, but I think we're on the right track.
I know some of those guys out there, and I know you're a fan. You guys should never lose a race at Oaklawn this upcoming season with all the experts out there in that school.
Well, I thought that's what we were coming on here to talk about was, handicapping horses. But no,
Yeah.
I agree with you. There's a lot of experts out there, so
Yeah.
we should do pretty well this spring.
Well, you need Oaklawn to move an hour closer to Rod since you lost that hour you had with Harrison. Get
That's
down there.
exactly right. I only made it down there 7 times last year, so
You got to pick that up. I
yeah.
remember going with Denzel and Cub and all those guys. That was those Nixa guys. They probably helped spur that Oaklawn love, didn't they? A little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, Joel, appreciate your time and best of luck to you. And we'll be following the Wildcats on to the playoffs. So thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Scott.
You bet. We'll see you. Joel Wells, the new head coach at Logan-Rogersville. And if you follow Joel's record throughout the years, he's a winner. I think 223-13 in 35 years going into this year. And had a 6-2 start out there, with the combination of the facilities and his assistants, his staff that he's very familiar with. They're going to get it going and keep it going out there for sure. So thank you to Joel Wells for his time and here on Around the Ozark Sports Scene. One of the reasons our program is possible is our great sponsors. We just added Colton Steakhouse here in the last couple of weeks, and one of our favorites with us now for a few months, Thompson Sales. We have Tyler Thompson, the GM out at Thompson's, on with us. Tyler, thanks for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Appreciate your sponsorship. And, of course, I've appreciated the Thompson boys for decades, having come up here as a college student and buying my first car from you guys in mid-1980s. And the things that set you apart with me was, to feel like you guys were family. You took care of customers. And I think that's something that through generations you guys have carried on since 1919. Is that kind of what the motto is out there?
Yeah, this is our 106th year in business, and I'm a 4th generation Thompson. We have the 5th generation's working here already as well. So it's very family oriented, and that's kind of our thing.
Tell us about the lot. I know you guys have had some makes and models come and go, but the GMCs have been steady with you. The Cadillacs, obviously. Buick's a big one for you now, isn't it, as well?
Yes. We're a Buick GMC Cadillac dealer. We're one of the bigger ones in the region, in the state. We have around 400 to 500 new cars on site, probably 100 to 150 used cars on site as well. So we are a big used car dealer. We also have a very large state-of-the-art service department, very large state-of-the-art body shop, parts, just a one-stop shop more or less for any of your automotive needs.
And I know, like I was, you got repeat customers is kind of your theme. I mean, people come to Thompson's at an early age, and they keep coming back for those reasons, right?
Yeah, we sell a lot of people, cars. We want to sell their kids their cars and their kids their cars, and we do a good job of doing that and taking care of people. That's really all you can do, and we've been in business this long because of our customers. So.
Well, we're almost at the end of 2026. So the new models for 26 have been out for a couple months. Kind of talk about what people are calling about, looking at on the lot. What's new for 26? It's going to be hot.
Obviously, we have some new EVs. EVs have taken off. We have several models of EVs, from Hummers to Sierra EVs. We have 3 or 4 models of Cadillac EVs. So that's been a new.
That's somebody trying to buy a car right now.
Yeah. That's been a new way to sell cars with the charging and the way we do things. So we've had to learn how to do that over the last couple of years, and I think we've done a good job of being successful at that.
And is that the models still coming from? I mean, are there changes in body for things from GMC, from Cadillac? And I know every now and then you get a complete new look out of a model. Yeah. What's going on with that this year?
So about a year from now, we'll have a brand new Sierra, the all new body style, a complete refresh, a complete model redo. So we haven't had that in about 4 or 5 years. They try to refresh the model every 4 or 5 years. This year we had a new Terrain, which is exciting because that's the subcompact SUV is the number one segment. It's the most purchased vehicle in our area and probably the country for that matter.
Because of the gas mileage, it's still got the room to haul people around and equipment and things like that. Yeah. What is the last 3 to 5 years the number one selling vehicle on your lot? I mean, that it doesn't surprise you when you see another one go out the door.
GMC Sierra.
Really?
Yeah.
What sets those trucks apart, the Sierras from other makes and models?
I think there's a lot of need for pickup trucks in our area, from farms to construction. So we sell a lot of trucks to people in those that have usage for that. So that's kind of where we thrive. We're a big truck store, so we sell a lot of pickup trucks. We sell a lot of Yukons, SUVs, and everything else, and Escalades. But we sell the number one selling vehicle we have here is GMC Sierra.
Well, we mentioned end of the year coming up. The 26s are out. The 25s are still on the lot. What kind of specials we got going on here at the end of the year at Thompson's?
We currently have 7,000 off on Buick Encore GX. We have 12,000 off on Sierras right now with 0.9% financing. We have a special going on right now in service that's been extremely successful, where we're selling 3 tires, you get 1 free. So buy 3, get 1. We're selling more tires than we've ever sold this month in the history of the company, and it's by a factor of 2. So that's been a successful deal for the customer.
Well, I know one of the allures of me bringing you guys on as a sponsor is I know how much that dealership and the families love sports and talking sports. And I mean, it goes back decades upon decades. I still remember the days at Weiser Gym when your dad, Lynn, and your late uncle, George III, used to create havoc under the goal for opposing teams in Weiser. Were you tagged along for some of those back as a kid too? Do you remember those days?
Oh yeah. I was there for those, and they yelled at their kids the same way they yelled at refs back then. So it was equally as awesome to be playing basketball when he was your coach. So yeah.
So you're like, hey, it's not just me, right? I mean, this is universal with Lynn. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very passionate about sports.
And I know you guys have had strong ties to Drury for years. Your daughter, Taylor, plays soccer over there, her 4th year in the program. You get to see a lot of soccer now still, don't you?
Yeah, she's a senior at Drury. This is her 3rd year. She played at another school and transferred back home, so we're
Okay.
very happy to have her home. But yeah, she's a senior playing soccer for Drury women's soccer. My son plays soccer at Glendale. We have 10-year-old twins that play soccer in a club here in town. We're a big soccer family.
Yeah. And that's been going for what, 15 years? I mean, you played a big part in getting the club here, didn't you?
I've helped. I've helped with the Betty and Bobby Allison facility out by the airport, and big proponent of youth soccer. It's been good to our family, and we've enjoyed. My kids love the sport, so by proxy, I get to love the sport as well.
Yeah.
So
You had no choice, did you?
no, I didn't. Not at
I
all.
know the family has been longtime Kansas City Chiefs fans. Is the consensus at the dealership now that the Chiefs are back where they belong and going to keep rolling along?
Well, they're playing pretty good right now, so I think this is the first time that I've been I've been a Chiefs fan since the early '90s, but I think this is the first time I've ever seen them have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense ever.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it? If they could get the running game figured out, look out.
I think they're pretty good. I think getting Rice back obviously helped. So I think if the defense can do their thing, and they got a tough game this Monday night. So
yeah. And one other thing I noticed, and I'm going to try to get her on, I think, next week, but I saw Paige Bowman won her 3rd straight state girls title. I know you've been longtime friends with Corey and Hickory people. They support their own and stuff. How proud is that club of what Paige has done?
Yeah. So we have a big golf group. I know that you talked to Reagan Zabilski recently, and we're very supportive of all our members and their kids anytime they're successful. But yesterday, I think the text stream blew up with about 45 text messages just from everybody in the group congratulating her and congratulating Corey. And she's a great kid. I mean, she works her tail off.
Going to be a Mizzou Tiger. Going to continue that. Yeah, that's great to see. So, I mentioned Colton's as one of our sponsors. I mean, I said last week on the podcast, go eat a big meal at Colton's and go buy a car, or vice versa. Celebrate your purchase. I know they're right down the street from you guys. Are you guys frequent flyers there?
We probably more Colton's than anywhere else. I mean, we do get a lot of Colton's. So yeah.
That's great. Well, Tyler, I appreciate your time. Thanks for the sponsorship. And dealership still Monday through Saturday, closed on Sunday, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah,
open at 7:30 in the morning.
Sundays, you get a lot of drive-bys, don't you?
There's a lot of people, picking around. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Tyler, thanks. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Scott.
You bet. Tyler Thompson, the general manager at Thompson Sales, and we appreciate their sponsorship. Longtime friends of mine as a family, just great people, from the late George III, who was just one of my favorites of all time, to Lynn, his brother Lynn, and then, right on down to Miles and Tyler and Drew and all the Thompson boys out there. They are dealing and they're good people, so go see them. And again, Colton Steakhouse, my buddy Thomas Orr, thanks to him for coming on board. Hard to find a better steak, barbecue. Their salads are great. And of course, if you go to Colton's, you live for those hot rolls and the butter and the honey that can fill you up before your meal gets there. So you got to have some discipline on the rolls before you head out to Colton's. But we appreciate their sponsorship too. Well, that's going to do it on this week's edition of Around the Ozark Sports Scene. Again, thanks to Joel Wells for his time. Best of luck to the Wildcats, and we will see you next week on Around the Ozark Sports Scene.